Hi everyone. So my name is Piechnick. I'm CEO and co-founder of a startup. We're from Germany, and basically what we do has to do with robots. So as you all know, the world as we know it today would not work without robots, right? Be it automotive, electronics, food, metal, chemistry, whatever, right? So they're the backbone. They are the key ingredients which enables every high volume production. So interesting question is, so who in this room, raise your hands, who in this room can program such a robot? Right. So, and actually, statistically speaking, you would need a football stadium full of people to find this guy who can actually program the robot. And this is a big part of the problem. So today, if you want to make a robot do something useful in manufacturing, right, you need to find a guy to program it, to really develop an application. And even worse, so today we're talking about 10, maybe 12 of the biggest robot manufacturing sharing approximately 96% of the market. They all have their own funny programming languages, technology stacks. So a guy who can program a KUKA robot does know nothing about how to program a FANUC robot or how to program an ABB robot. So if you look at the global market and an install base of robots today, you see a huge increase. So in 2017, this is where the latest numbers are out. The global market for robots grew by 30%. So 30% more robots sold globally, and China is, as you might know, growing like crazy. So almost 40% in market growth in China. It's predicted that by latest end of next year, more than 50% of all the robots in the world will be in China, right? So, interestingly, if you look about the cost of a robot today, so the total cost of ownership. So a robot in industrial manufacturing, you will have it for approximately 6-7 years. More than 2/3 of this cost directly comes from application development. So in fact, hardware acquisition costs, maintenance, energy, everything you need is only a small part of what a robot really costs. And for standard robot programming, it's a fact that every time you want a robot to do something different, maybe your product changes, maybe your production line changes, maybe a certain production step changes, you need to have it reprogrammed. So you need to call the guy coming by, find him in the stadium, right? So you can even consider this as a recurring cost. This is, I think, how most of the application engineers in robotics feel. So the problem really is to find the people. And we are partnering with one of the biggest systems integrators in Germany. And as a funny anecdote, there are about 1,800 engineers in their company. And they called us whether we can send over one of our engineers for a weekend because their programmer for a certain type of KUKA robots went to holiday, right? So the global market for robotics is approximately 28.6 billion. That's just software engineering for robot arms in industry. So even though today you will see all those sensitive robots which you can drag around and show them stuffs. I'm now working in this industry, in industrial manufacturing, for more than 7 years. I've never seen a real industrial manufacturing application which was programmed by hand guiding, what is called hand guiding. Because a robot is always more than just a motion. A robot has a tool, which can be a gripper, a sucker, whatever tool this is, which needs to be somehow integrated. Most of the times you need sensors, so cameras for workpiece detection, presence sensors, distance sensors. Most of the times every application has a logic, so the robot must interact with its environment, and you must integrate the robot in the production environment. So the robot is not working in isolation. It has to be synchronized with machines, it has to interact maybe with conveyor belts. And all of this is not supported by today's technology, so you end up programming. So what we do as Wandelbots basically is developing and providing a product which enables everyone, regardless of their technological background, regardless of their education, and regardless of their cultural background, to program any industrial robot in the same way. And based on the benchmarks we have with our customers, and I will go over this in a second, is that we can claim that using our product, the programming of industrial robots gets approximately 20 times faster, and the total cost of ownership approximately 10 times cheaper. Really a technology for everyone. So I've brought a video to kind of show how we do that. That's a very short video which we have done together with one of our customers, which is Infineon. So as you can imagine, we're not allowed to shoot in clean room, so that's a kind of reconstruction. So what you will see here is a guy wearing a jacket which has several sensors, actuators, and woven. And in the application, you will see how a robot is handling 200 millimeter wafer into a machine, which in this case was an oven, can be any machine. And here, based on what he has shown to the robot by example, basically the software learns how the automation process works. And now you see that this cassette is, for example, shifted by an angle of approximately 40 degrees, whatever. But the software has learned by demonstration using the camera that the position and the pose, basically, of this cassette correlates with the actions of the robots. So basically what you have seen in this very short video, I will show other videos in a second, is that the robot, based on one demonstration, was able to solve a task in an adaptive manner, handling with variations in the environment. And that's exactly what we do. So conceptually speaking, what we do is giving people the ability to, by some mechanism, guide a robot through a task multiple times. And while he's doing that, we collect all the data. So data coming from the robot, data coming from external sensors, data coming from sensors integrated with the robot, and data coming from PLC systems. And based on this data, we apply AI, a huge variety of AI mechanisms, so to say, to learn how this task works. So the software understands the task at hand. And based on those models the software generates, we can automatically generate solutions for a certain robot platform. So based on what the software has generated, you can use a tablet application currently running on an iPad to adjust and fine-tune what was generated. And at the end, we generate code again. So to date, we do not necessarily always provide our own execution environments for the robot in the production environment. Rather, we generate code. So the code which was typically programmed by the programmer, so you can say we are basically just automating the step the programmer was doing previously. So recently we were mentioned among the Gartner top technology trends for 2019, and we were the example under the region what they call this AI-driven development. So basically, it's AI taking over the job of programmers to create software. Okay, so the cool thing now is what is learned by examples, those models, we call skills. And a skill basically is the ability of a robot to solve a certain task. Interesting is that those skills are completely the representation of the skills is completely independent of any robot hardware platform. So in principle, you can teach a task to a KUKA robot in one facility and then apply the skill what was learned to, for example, to an ABB robot in another facility. This is a video I was taking with my smartphone in our first office last year. So that's a 14-year-old schoolgirl. So she was doing an internship in our company, and while we were thinking what job we can give to her, we were deciding to just let her train robots for a week to generate data for a machine learning backend. And this was basically Monday morning after 10 minutes. A 14-year-old girl was able to really program big industrial robots. So over 1 week, she has programmed more than 70 different applications to 8 different hardware platforms. And this was one of the moments which, despite all the success we had recently, which made me really proud, because this really showed us that we are developing a technology where a 14-year-old schoolgirl without any training can just walk in and program a robot. So what you've seen now is body sensors, jackets, stuff like this, but this is not our core asset. Our core asset is the software that learns from demonstrations and is able to generate optimized solutions based on demonstrations. So jacket is one thing, and we also have 2 other what we call teaching devices, which I will show in a second. One is a device called Space Mouse. So it's this thing. Basically, it's a joystick. It's a 6-axis joystick to move a robot, independent on the hardware platform, and the smart pen, which I will present in a second.
Wir haben eine Vision.
So, one remark to the video I'm going to show now. Since we are a startup, we always have to move fast, and the video which I'm going to show now is not the final cut. I'm still waiting for the final cut. We will release this product, or we will show this product physically for the first time next week on a fair in Germany. And we have produced also a video for that. So I'm very sorry, this is in German. So, but I hopefully, based on the visual content, you will get an idea. Right?
Wir haben eine Vision. Jede beliebige Roboterapplikation. Direkt eingerichtet durch den Anwender. Intuitiv und kinderleicht. Und konkurrenzlos schnell. Der revolutionäre Tracepen macht genau das jetzt möglich. Sein Einsatz ist konkurrenzlos einfach. Der Anwender stattet den kabellosen Tracepen mit seinem Werkzeug aus und führt die gewünschte Applikation wie gewohnt durch. Die Sensoren des Tracepen erfassen dabei sowohl freie Bewegungsbahnen im Raum wie Klebe- und Schweißnähte, als auch Punkt-zu-Punkt-Anwendungen wie Schrauben, Pick-and-Place oder Punktschweißen. Die Tracepen-Software errechnet in kürzester Zeit den Programmcode, der die angelernte Applikation optimal umsetzt und programmiert die gesamte Eventsteuerung. Der Roboter kommuniziert direkt mit der SPS und startet die Anwendung. Teaching plus Inbetriebnahme als voll integrierte Automatisierungslösung. Ready to use. Ohne komplexe Planung, ohne konventionelle Programmierung, für jeden einfach anwendbar. So schnell war Automatisierung noch nie. Verglichen mit konventioneller Programmierung brauchen Anwender mit dem Tracepen nur einen Bruchteil der Zeit zum Anlernen von Robotern. Machen Sie Roboterzellen deutlich schneller einsatzbereit und die Produktion durch extrem kurze Umrüstzeiten flexibler als je zuvor.
So basically, what this is a handheld device which is tracked in space, which has a force sensor, which has sensors for acceleration, which is tracked in sub-millimeter precision, and for what is called path-based applications, so process-based applications, everything that comes from gluing, welding, grinding, like in this example, deburring, basically normal operators that usually have done the job before can teach those kinds of applications within minutes. And we have now one example case with one of the biggest automotive manufacturers in Germany, and we could show that the programming of gluing application decreases from 30 hours to 20 minutes. And this is not only a speed up, I'm not only talking about efficiency. This is a perfect example of when you apply AI in a clever way, you can really create completely new opportunities. So going from 30 hours to 20 minutes does not necessarily mean you spend less money and you're much faster. It means that you can use robot in a much more flexible way, and in ways you haven't even thought about yet. So one of our customers is for example, Volkswagen. That's Herbert Dies, the CEO, which has tried this application. So he has done his PhD on flexible automation back in the 80s, then went to BMW and then to Volkswagen. And basically even him was able to put on a jacket and train a robot how to mount a car speaker. And right now, for example, they use our technology to ramp up the production line of their new electrical vehicles in Germany. So what's our business model? How do we get money, right? And we have tried a lot of different things, all boring stuff also, like license fee for a year, stuff like this. But since our mission is really to really capture also this market for small and medium-sized companies, what we're currently doing is go with a pay-as-you-go model. So basically you get everything for free. You can teach the robots as you wish. The only thing you have to pay is when the robot is then working in production. You pay €2.80 per hour. And this creates a completely new flexibility because everything is moved from CapEx to OpEx basically. So you don't have to invest in 20, 30, 40, even sometimes 80, 90,000 euros for programming. You can just start, right? We are headquartered in Germany in a beautiful city called Dresden. It's south of Berlin. We're currently opening up also an office in Berlin, and we do have an office in China, which is in southern China, Xinde, which is region of Guangzhou. So we do have Chinese customers, and the Chinese market is super important for us. It's the fastest growing, and I think in the Chinese market, our product works the best because the work style, especially for Chinese manufacturers, differ a lot from what I've seen from European manufacturers. And especially in China, speed, efficiency, and low cost matter the most. So our company was created by 6 founders. So it's a very complex topic. That's why we are more than 2 founders or more than 1. So we all met during our PhD at university, and we were all working on different topics when it comes to how to program complex machines much easier. And then Maria, which also happens to be my wife, she started her PhD in flexible software architecture for wearables. And this was the point in time where we, in a hobby project, just put both things together, so wearables and robots. And this came out, basically. So currently, we are working with large automotive factories, and I guess one logo from the Chinese folks here in the room you will know. So Midea is one of our biggest customers here in China, and we are also partnering on different product developments. We do have customers from Japan, from Singapore, Malaysia. And we do partner with quite a lot of robot manufacturers, systems integrators, and part providers as well. So, yeah, compared to what you've seen so far, we are a rather small company. So we were founded last year in January, started with 2 people. fully employed by the company. To date, I think the slide is a little bit outdated. I think to date we are 43 people, and we have recently closed our Series A round in December together with EQT and Power Ventures. And back to AI, I think Forbes recently also ranked us as among the top 5 most promising AI startups from Europe. So what you've seen, SmartPen or TracePen, this will be released by end of the year. And I'll be around afterwards. So if you have any kinds of questions, interests, stop by, have a chat. And hopefully next time I will come on stage when I ask the question, who can program those robots, more than 0 hands go up. Thank you very much.